Hey guys, I'm Jen. This is my little one Naia. She's 6 months old. Welcome to today's yoga. This is going to be focused on the hips, which postpartum definitely, I'm sure we're feeling a little bit of tension, some discomfort there after 9 months of carrying babe. And also, all that relaxin in our body can do things to shift things around. So, this is going to feel really great. Um, Not one you have to have baby for again. If you have sore hips, you're welcome to join along. I just ask that you're at least 8 weeks postpartum and you've had your doctor's okay to move forward with some physical activity. And yeah, I'll meet you at the top of your mat. So we're going to start with baby lying down and we're going to come onto our backs today. And we're going to start with happy baby. So grabbing the insides of our ankles here, we're bringing our knees towards our armpits. We're trying to connect our lower back and tailbone down to the mat. And then just connecting with your breath here. Maybe add a bit of movement, swaying back and forth side to side. Whatever feels good, giving that low back a bit of a massage. You can play with straightening one leg and then the other. Just starting to wake up those hips here, whatever feels good. This is called intuitive movement. So holding in one position that feels good. Now bring those feet down. Bring our feet to touching, our knees open wide, so our reclined butterfly. Just take a moment to do a body scan here. So starting at the top of your head, bringing your awareness down, noticing any areas of tension you might be holding on to. So taking a notice of your third eye, so between those eyebrows, are you holding tension there? Maybe you're holding tension in your jaw. If you're holding your tongue to the roof of your mouth, bringing it down. Bring your awareness into your shoulders. Try to let those shoulders relax down if you notice they're tensed towards those ears. As you move into your chest, your belly, just breathing with that breath, letting everything go. Anywhere you're feeling tension, just really try to let that go. And then when you're ready, rolling over onto your side. And then coming up to a seated position, checking in with baby. Hi. So we're gonna sit with our knees. Our feet are about the width of our mat. Our heels are slightly pointed in. And we're just gonna start to wake up our hips. So we're gonna drop one knee in and then the other. Just moving back and forth here. If your knee doesn't come all the way to the mat, that's okay. And we're not keeping, so as we drop our right knee down, if that right hip picks up, that's fine. If this feels okay, you can actually come up. See if you can come up into Malasana. So our deep squat here. And then drop your knee down. If that is too much, again, just come back to that seated position. We're just warming up that hip. And if you want a little more, it's feeling okay for you. I'm going to get kicked, so I'm moving back. Oops, lost my mic. Moving from side to side. Doing one more on each side. And then finding stillness in that deep squat. So you can reach your hands forward, let that back round out. Just going back and forth side to side a little bit here. Maybe your heels don't touch the ground here. Maybe they're up, so you can roll that mat or roll a blanket to place under your heels if that's the case. If you're also finding it too uncomfortable, you can take a block and sit on as well. This practice is for you. This is about your body. Your goal isn't to look exactly like me. It's to feel no pain. It's to feel a nice deep stretch to feel good here. All right, and then when you're ready, we're gonna do some deep squatting to stand. So again, we're just waking up our hips here. So when you're ready, we're gonna inhale, reach those hips all the way up, coming to a forward fold. Exhale, coming back down. And you don't have to come all the way down here. Come to your level. And then inhale, come back up to that forward fold. Exhale, coming down to that deep squat. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, coming down. As we come down, check in with baby. Hi. Inhale, bring those hips back up. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, back up one more time. And this time we're going to hold. So keeping a bend in those knees. You can grab opposite elbows here and sway back and forth side to side. Keeping that deep bend. We're going to hang out here, just reconnecting with that breath, getting a bit of an inversion, and then finding stillness in your forward fold. We're going to bend deep into our right leg. We're bringing our right hand just in front of that left foot, and we're going to reach up with the left arm here. So although this is a twist, we're going to feel this in our outer hip. So again, bending deep into that right knee. See if you can straighten that left leg as we twist up with the left arm. You can gaze towards those left fingertips, but if that's causing some discomfort on your neck, you can bring that gaze down. Taking one more deep breath here. And when you're ready, coming to that forward fold, just swaying back and forth side to side. Letting that go. Then when you're ready, finding the other side. So we're reaching this time our left hand in front of our right foot, bending deep in that left knee as we straighten that right leg and twisting up with the right arm. Sometimes we tend to hold our breath and twist. So if you're holding your breath here, try to let that go. As you inhale, finding length, deepening that twist a little bit more. And as you exhale, letting go any areas of tension. And inhale, coming back down. Check in with baby again. You can tell she's getting restless, so I'm going to give her a little book to play with. And then we're stepping it all the way back, coming to our down dog. So walking one leg, then the other. Letting that deep twist go. And then we're going to pick up, so rooting down, pressing into the mat with our hands. We're going to pick up that right leg. And we're going to find some hip circles here. So nice big circles. I want you to open up. And then when you're ready, switching directions. And then engage that core, starting at the pelvic floor. So small Kegel, hug that core in. Swing your right foot through, planting it between your hands. Inhale, squeeze everything. Squeeze that pelvic floor as we come up into our crescent lunge. So I want that front knee, that right knee stuck right over that right ankle. I want you pressing into that back heel. See if you can have your heel over your toes. And then we're trying to square off our hips here. So one way to think about that, we're pulling our right hip back, our left hip forward. Another way is to think of scissoring those legs together. So pulling our inner thighs towards each other and lifting. So you want to feel a lift here. Bringing those arms up, reach up nice and high. See if you can lift and sink. Finding a bit of movement with your breath. Warming up into that left hip. That left, we're also going to feel this in our hip flexor, our psoas. And then when you're ready, we're going to drop that left knee down, coming into our low lunge here. So letting those back toes go. So you can either come onto a block here if that feels good. Maybe you can come down onto your hands And we're just going to hang out here for a couple breaths before we take this into lizard. Hi. Again, check in with baby. Hello. Hi, little love. A lot of emotions can come up for us when we're in these deep hip openers. So try to breathe through it. Use that baby as a distraction. And as you feel your hips start to release, I want you to almost think about pulling that left hip down, that right hip forward. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk the right foot out towards the edge of our mat. And then we're going to roll with our foot, opening up to open up that knee. You don't have to. If that's too much for you, come back to where you were before. But if you're here, see if you can just, and we're not putting a lot of pressure, but just a gentle bit of pressure. And then again, we can add a little bit of movement. Just tiny micro movements here to really feel into these stretches. Hi. You're okay. Maybe you rock your hips back and forth, side to side. Again, as you inhale, noticing any areas of tension. As you exhale, see if you can let that go. Maybe you can even come down onto your forearms if that feels good. You're on your forearms. You can play with baby here. So I'm just going to flip Naia over, give her a little bit of a massage. Check in with her, let her know I'm here. And when you're ready, slowly coming back up, bringing that knee back in, walking it back to center. Then stepping it all the way back, coming onto our knees. And inhale, lift up, finding that downward dog. Exhale, walk it out, let that go. Then when you're ready, picking up that left leg and start circling it out. So nice big circles here with a bent knee. Keep a flex in that left foot. See if you can go as big as possible. And when you're ready, switching directions. One more big circle. Then hugging that core in, engage that pelvic floor as you step your left leg forward. Oh, look, Naia's planking. Showing us all up. All right, and then when you're ready, engage that pelvic floor, small kegel. Hug your core in as you lift yourself up. So setting yourself up for crescent lunge on the other side. So stacking that knee over that ankle. See if you can imagine you're scissoring those legs together. So pulling that right hip forward, that left hip back. And then pressing that back heel away. Trying to stack your ankle over your toes. Straighten that back leg if you can. And then we're going to do that engagement where we're going to lift up and lower. So bringing some heat into that hip. Definitely feeling that in our hip flexor. Just up and down, just gentle movements here. The idea is we're creating some heat, we're working that muscle before we get into that deep stretch where we're gonna help relieve any tension. One more time, and then drop that knee down, letting those toes go. And again, finding your variation on this side. So maybe you're up on a block. That's fine as we let those hips sink forward into the mat. Maybe you can come onto your hands. Nice, like, oh, what's that? I'm gonna play with that. Yeah, let me check it out. So breathing here. Good roll. So again, inhale. Notice any areas of tension, and as you exhale, letting it go. Then when you're ready, we're going to walk that left foot out closer towards the edge of the mat. And we're going to roll that left knee open, coming on to the side of the foot. And using your left hand here to just apply a gentle amount of pressure. And then we're going to find that little bit of movement here. And one side might be different from the other. For me, I can feel my left is a lot more tight today. So I am finding that micro movement as I breathe here. And as I start to open up into this, I'm going to come down onto my forearms, keeping that micro movement, just swaying back and forth side to side. Maybe you find an area that feels good. You're going to hold there. No, nothing should feel, you shouldn't feel any pinching, any pain, anything like that. It means you've gone too far. So take a step back if you feel that. This should all feel good. Sometimes with our hip openers, we might be feeling a lot of emotions come up, especially postpartum. So just take a notice of that. If you're noticing that, just really focus on that breath, inhaling and exhaling. One more deep breath here. And then coming up onto our hands, we're going to step that foot back. We're going to find a wide-legged child's pose. We're adding some movement here. So we're going to circle those hips around to the side and back. So we're just letting that go. Don't worry, no one's watching. I can't believe I'm recording this. And then switch directions. Just circling out those hips, letting it all go. This doesn't have to look like anything in particular. It's just meant to feel good. All right, then coming onto our hands and knees, you want to have a block close by. I should have mentioned that before in class. You can also use a book, pillows, whatever feels good. And we're going to come in to our pigeon. So we're going to bring our right knee behind our right wrist. Depending on your hip flexibility, you're going to, eventually the idea is to have your leg at 90 degrees. But for most of us, our foot needs to tuck in. So I'll show you on the other side. So like that. So eventually the goal is to be at 90, but we're starting with that tuck. And for me, I am working at opening up my pigeon, but because my hip is up like this, I'm going to place a block. And the reason for that is it's going to let me come deeper into this, my pigeon pose here. It's also going to let me find a bigger 90-degree angle. I'm getting big smiles. She's probably totally out of camera now. Hi. You hear her giggling. And then, so we're squaring off our hips. So there's a tendency with our right leg forward for that left hip to roll open. See if you can roll it forward. And you don't want to feel any pinching on that knee. If you're feeling pinching, you might need to come up onto another block. Or maybe you need to come down onto your back for figure 4. But moving back to pigeon, if you're there with me, we're going to inhale our chest up. And we're going to exhale, using our hands coming down. Inhale to come back up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. See if you can engage your pelvic floor, engage your core, and lift from your core and your hip here. One more. And then on your next one, we're going to sink down. So coming all the way onto your forearms if that feels good. You can reach them forward. You can drop your head down to the mat. And just letting everything go here. Reconnecting with that breath. Pranayama is the breathing part of yoga practice, and we can practice this separately in meditation or just through breathing exercises, but every time we come to our mat, it's an integral part of our yoga practice. Prana meaning breath, yama meaning movement. So continuing to breathe through any tension. As you exhale, let it go. And then when you're ready, coming up, we're going to walk our foot back, coming back to hands and knees. We're going to find that hip circle movement again. So going one way and then the other. Hi. Check in with baby. And then when you're ready, bringing that left knee behind the left wrist, and then again finding your variation on this side. So again, I'm going to use a block under my left hip. First, coming up, growing tall, squaring off those hips. So again, I'm thinking about rolling that right hip down so that my hips are square to the mat. And again, if your hips are really open here, maybe that foot's more at 90. For me, I need to still keep it tucked in, otherwise I feel pressure on my knee. And then we're going to find those rolls again. So inhale that chest up, exhale down. Inhale, coming back up, exhale down. So as you move here, see if you can engage that pelvic floor, hug in your core, and help this movement come more from your hips and your core than it's coming from your arms. One more. And then exhale, coming down onto your forearms, maybe letting your head go. My baby's giving me cues that I need to go pick her up. Practice is also about her, so you guys stay in your pigeon. Or hip pause if your baby is upset. Hi. She says, I want to be closer to mama. So I'm going to bring her right into me. Give her that block to play with. And then fold forward. And while I'm forward here with her, I'm just going to give her a gentle massage, starting at her feet, rubbing into that foot pad. Then the other one, gently massaging her lower back here, moving up. She's just doing Superman here like a champ. Hi. Just letting her know I'm here. Continuing to breathe also. Having baby can be a great distraction for these difficult poses. Yeah. Babies are true little yogis. They just live in the moment. They're not worried about making dinner tonight. They're not worried about what's going on tomorrow. They're just completely in the moment, exploring everything new. I'm hungry. What's that block? What's that color? All right, and then when you're ready, I'm going to put baby down, but slowly coming back out. Coming onto your knees, stretching one leg back, and then the other. Just wiggle those hips out. And then we're going to come sitting onto our knees. Hope you can hear me. This is all a big learning curve, and I just realized my mic was covered. Okay, so we're going to come into frog. I have this nice shag carpet, but if you don't at home, you're probably going to want to roll your mat to double that thickness. I'm going to bring Naia so she's right in front of me. And then we're coming as wide as possible here. So we're And again, roll that mat if you need to provide extra cushion. This is a really intense pose, so listen to your body for when, and come out for when you need to come out. Hi. Take a look at your knees. You want your ankles right behind your knees, so you're 90 and 90. Keeping your back foot flexed. And then either staying up here or coming down. And then just bond with baby. Say hello. Okay, and then again, find that intuitive movement, just moving back and forward gently. Back and forward gently. Maybe you feel your hips opening up a little bit, so you can come a little bit wider. If you notice one area where there's more tension, holding there, trying to breathe into it. If you're too far forward, you're not going to feel this much, so make sure your hips are coming back towards your ankles a little bit. And breathing. Hi, little love. Hello, little love. Noticing anything that might be coming up for you. Trying to breathe through that. And then when you're ready, how we come out of this is we're going to come up onto our hands. We're going to bring our ankles together, and then we're going to push back, bringing our knees together. So coming to one final cross-legged position. We're just going to shake those knees out, side to side. I like to end every class with a twist because sometimes I may pick her up now. All that hip, all those holding can really be a lot on our lower back. So we're going to find that seated position, and we're going to just do a gentle twist here. So I'm holding on to baby, but if you're not, you're going to twist over. So we're twisting over to the right. We want to twist from the bottom, so twisting from the lower abdomen, lower ribs, and then our shoulders, and finally our gaze. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, twist over to the other side. If you don't have baby, you can use your right hand on your left knee to twist. And then coming back to center. So we did do a lot of movement with our hip openers today. So if you're a little bit sore, I apologize. When we're creating mobility in our hips, sometimes we're not used to doing it. So adding in, basically we're building strength before we're stretching. So if you can, soak on a hot bath tonight, throw some Epsom salts in there, because it can be, that was a bit of an intense practice. So if you can give yourself that time, bath baby off to husband, you need that Epsom salt bath. Come back to this practice too when you can. It's really great for strengthening those hips. It's important to build strength along with the stretching. As great as it is to look nice and open, we need that strength too. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Wishing you a beautiful spring day. Namaste. Namaste.